Tabletop Express. Lower that music.
I did. You got it, Chief.
All right.
Jeez. Wow.
Somebody's got a little fire in the box today, huh?
Put in my place.
Jeez. All right.
Keep that fire in the oven.
Oh, man. Welcome aboard.
Shut up, you!
Welcome aboard. Call aboard. This is the Tabletop Express. My name is Chris Barros.
Are we doing last names too? I'm
Yeah.
I'm just Anthony.
Yeah.
Like Cher.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm
Sure.
Ryan
Yeah.
See?
Espen.
And if you've never joined the Tabletop Express before, if it's your first time, this is our call-in show where we invite you to call in at, what's that number?
That number is CALL-ABOARD.com.
Which reads call aboard.
Yeah, it's on the top.
Yeah.
Right over there.
It's there. There. Yeah, all right. We see.
Sorry.
But yeah, we encourage you to call in. Our topic tonight
It's a good one.
was picked by our patrons, so thank you to our patrons for helping pick this week's episode topic. Favorite food and drink board games. So we want to hear from you about your favorite food and drink board games. We know there's some popular ones out there. This is also the return. It's been a while since we've done one of these, but the board is back.
The board.
Oh.
Let's go to the board.
There it is.
Board?
Yeah.
It's that way.
Yeah, there it is.
See?
But if you do call in, and we'll start sharing some of ours throughout, of course, but if you do call in and you happen to mention one of our games, we will reveal where it falls on the list.
And if you want to, Chris could toot.
I could.
He could.
I can toot. I have the tutoring ability.
I see Marcel in the chat. Hey, good evening.
Hello.
I saw squirrels grabbing some grub.
No, some nuts.
Oh, I get it. Because
a squirrel.
Yeah, okay. Well, anyways. Yes. Remember when I said that I think 3 is too many?
Yeah, he did say that. Last time he said
Yes.
2 is good for call aboard. All right. I'm sitting out next time.
I'm kidding. No, we want you for this one because this is our top list. So we picked each 5 of our favorite food and drink games.
Yes.
Which I think is like, I picked it like as like my top favorite food and drink games.
Yeah, I did. But, for a reason. Obviously, they're up there for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's interesting because there's enough that you could do a top 10, but there's, and then you could probably go beyond that a little bit, but then it starts to get kind of fringe. To me, there's just,
Sure.
These are the 5 that stood out to me, and that's why they're in that top 5.
Well,
for
that's
this.
the initial conversation we had, right? Where does, is it... Because you guys were on, like, Agricola and stuff.
Well, okay, so for spoilers, Agricola is not on this list. Hey, man the meatball.
What's up?
Hey, good
So,
to see you.
yes, that's correct. So, it's how we picked the list, and you guys can call in with whatever game you think that fits the criteria, but how we picked it is that there's no question it is a food or drink game.
Right. It's not like, there's food
Agricola's
in this
got
one part.
food. Agricola's got food. It's
Yeah.
got baking of bread and cooking of animals.
But these are, like, really
But
obvious
it's also
choice.
like a farming game.
Yeah.
You don't say that's a food game. That's a farming game.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Brass Birmingham uses beer a lot as a central mechanism, but it's not a food game or a drink game. You
No,
know?
it's not.
So unfortunately, those 2 are not on the list for me.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler.
Spoiler alert. Oh, we got
Mr.
Mr.
Rao.
Rao. in the house.
Rao.
Howdy.
Yeah.
All right. It's going to be a good night already.
It's
I
gonna be a
can
good
tell.
night. We got a good crowd here
It's
already.
bopping.
Well, what I've heard too, many people say, I heard this, is that everyone has an opinion on food.
It's true.
Because everyone eats food,
Yeah.
right? Do you guys have favorite foods?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pizza, it's mine. It's easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Pizza,
But
pasta.
actually, if it's done right, chicken and waffles is freaking amazing.
For real.
But
For
it's
real.
not always done right.
No, I know.
I've learned some places just cannot figure out how to do
I have
it.
to take you to the IHOP in Irvington, New Jersey. There's a secret soul food menu.
Oh.
And they have a...
Really?
Yeah, for real.
I
No joke.
I had really good chicken and waffles in Philly once, but I don't know where it was. Maybe it's, we've got some folks from Philly in the chat, so
Maybe
I
it
get
was
some
IHOP.
help. Yeah,
It wasn't IHOP.
It was not IHOP. I promise you. But remember, call-aboard.com.
Brian Chandler, bring me your finest meats and cheeses.
But yeah,
But we have a charcuterie of items today.
Whoa.
Right?
Yes.
Who wants to kick it off?
Is there no board game about charcuteries?
Well, so, okay, actually, I should bring this up, right? Hang on. Hang on.
Seems like a theme that would be
Let me bring this up.
pretty approachable.
There's a new board game, and
Oh.
there's one called
yes.
Fromage that's on Kickstarter right now, which is it's just about cheese.
Okay.
But yeah, look at this. Like
That's
look
a
at
lot
the
of
pieces.
cheese.
Look,
Ooh.
so the board
Oh.
is a cheese wheel that you can flip around and rotate. Look at that.
Delicious.
Yeah, look, they're
Ooh.
sliding it in. Look at the pieces.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
take little cheese wedge.
Did you back this?
No.
It's someone
it.
backing
No,
this?
I'm not doing it.
Tell him to
Yeah.
do it like you told him
Someone-
to do the other thing before.
I'm not
Someone
doing
from the
it.
community, please back this so we can, indulge in cheese. And
some
Brian, and
Fromage.
then Brian has to come like all the way to the East Coast constantly so we can play it.
See, Danielle's in the chat. Hey, Danielle.
Oh,
there it
Amanda
is,
Meep-
Danielle.
oh, Gabe backed
Oh,
it.
Gabe backed it.
We're
There
good.
you go.
Perfect.
Thank
We're good.
you.
We got access.
And look at that. We got 2
Oh,
backers.
sweet.
He was
Thank
easy.
you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
That looks
Hey,
phenomenal.
Rachel's
Hey,
in
Rachel.
the house. Wow.
All right, full house.
Wow, the community is out in force tonight.
All
and
right,
I
the
love it.
table is set.
Yes.
Omelette, omelette du fromage. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the price isn't bad. But again, I'm gonna wait it out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Because I don't think the deluxe version has a lot of crazy enhances over the.
The retail
existing
looks
one.
pretty solid. It looks
The
like
retail
it's
looks
screen
solid
printing and stuff.
Yeah,
It's on the-
all it's doing is like
Oh,
these
look at that
screen.
world of cheese.
Yeah, it's a Lazy Susan neoprene mat.
Ooh.
Yeah. But anyways,
Oh man. Well, with that, we do have this board in front of us, and again, if people want to call in, and talk about some things they think that they think are great games, and even if you want to throw a prediction on what you think we might have picked,
Yeah.
we love that part. That's always fun. So feel free to get on the backstage of the Tabletop Express here, call-board.com, and get on the air with us.
get on the air.
Get on the air.
Get on the air. And we have one that just called in.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
I'll bring him in.
Yeah.
Because clearly he's well nourished now. We'll find out in 3, and 2, and 1. Welcome, Squirrel, to the chat.
Nice. Yes.
You
He's
are
eating mixed nuts.
See?
Hey, gentlemen.
Amazing.
Howdy.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Still eating, obviously.
That's okay.
Got a little snackage going on.
So welcome to tonight's I guess top 5.
Top
Yeah.
5/15.
Yeah, as
And-
soon
and-
as you guys,
Yeah.
you guys put this topic up, I knew exactly what to talk about.
I saw you post that on the Discord, and I knew exactly what game you would talk about.
Yeah, I have a feeling none of you have either played it or none of you have it on your list. One
correct.
of the two.
Correct to both, because I know the spoilers.
Well, I don't know,
I
but
think
I can
I know
also
what
say
he's
it's
talking
correct.
about, actually.
You want me to go to it?
Yeah. Sure. So this game is called Consumption: Food and Choices. This came to me. I had at one point in time acquired a large collection from somebody. In fact, asked him to help me load it into my car.
Oh yeah, that was that day.
Yeah, it was that day, and
You
I
even
managed
took the shelf.
I did. The shelves are still up downstairs. But this was one of the games amongst it, and I decided to give it a shot. I was like, what is this? It's about food. It's about healthy choices. It's about going shopping. But yeah, this is just a worker placement game. You have a board in front of you. If you want to click on the standard diet board over there.
Which one? This
The
one?
8th one. Yeah.
Oh, standard diet. Yeah.
So this is an example of a board that you have in front of you. What you're trying to do is you're trying to consume foods into your body. This is your body right here, by the way, and how you want your body to function is at the top. This is a standard diet. So you want a lot of fruit and veg. If you notice, if you don't have enough fruit and veg down there, if you notice the red spots, that means that's a danger zone. You need to fill your body with fruits and vegetables and start filling that in, because at the end of the game, depending on where your last token is, that's how many points you get. And the red is negative and the green is positive. So you want to be in the green area by the time the game ends. You might have to make recipes. So you have to build recipes to make a food. And then that food you immediately consume. And it also gives you a special power that you can use at any point in time during your turn. If you decide to eat too much and you start getting into the red zones by having too much food in your body of a bad kind, then you can work out. So there are some exercises that you may do. There's probably another board or another picture that you can show that shows some of the exercises you can do. And you can acquire those exercises and they consume foods from your body like sugars and alcohol as you work out. So if you take those things from your body to work out on, you can complete the workout card, and that is a different set collection where, like, depending on how many different kinds of workouts you've done, you get more points at the end of the game. But I think this is a strategically like wonderful game. It was actually designed by so the designer, by the way, is just a lady that's actually a dietitian from California, which is pretty cool. It's her only design.
Karen Nobla.
Yeah, so there it is right there, a registered dietitian in California. She made this game just because she wanted to another vehicle to try to explain how you can like better your body and your diet. And this game is great. It comes with asymmetric boards. Like there's some people who have like a sweet tooth, so like you want the sugars to be filled. There's one with nut allergies, so you can't have any nuts or seeds. But yeah, there's just plenty of different varieties. There's mini expansions like the fridge expansion, which normally
anti-inflammatory.
Yeah, there it is right there. There's a fridge up there, and and food spoils and it goes into the trash. But there's like a mini expansion called the freezer, where you can like put stuff in the freezer, like foods that you cook in there to use later. But all in all, this is probably my favorite food-based game that there is, and I really suggest giving it a shot if you have not seen it or played it before.
You know, I've seen this because I know a few people who are dietitians as well, and I've mentioned the fact that it exists, even though I've never played it. So I this is one that just has fascinated me from afar. The concept of, we talk about games making impact in many different ways. To me, this falls in that area in a different way. No, it's not the same as like telling the story of women's suffrage or something like that. I recognize, but it's that same concept to me though. Of this is a real world thing of in this case our bodies and how we should think about them. And to me, I just think it's fascinating. You could put this on the table, and people are going to get a true education from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of made me think of Heading Forward actually a bit.
Oh yeah,
like a solo experience with that balance.
Yeah, Heading Forward's great. Yeah. But yeah, you're right. It shows how the board game medium can be used to kind of tell stories, how it could be used to educate.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure you made a lot of life changes after playing Consumption.
As
he drinks his Coke.
I totally did. This is called a Captain Pepper. It is a Captain Morgan's with Dr. Pepper.
Right. So let's see. That
changes.
would go under sugar, alcohol.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Got it.
And alcohol.
Bring up the nutritional stats.
There you go.
All right, you might need to do the activities action now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely have to go like exercising or tennis or rollerblading or whatever they have.
So I see a bunch of discussion. I see Mitchell Memory saying this game sounds so neat. Love how you have to balance everything with all of these different levels. Mm-hmm. And hey, welcome, Sarah.
Hello.
Hey,
welcome.
Sarah. Thanks for being here. It's so great. It's one I will always know. I love to see the active chat. It's always active, but especially active tonight. So definitely gonna enjoy that.
Oh, true. Rachel did bring up a good point. There was fruit in that drink, so we should mark that down.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark the fruit
right there. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
But
that is my contribution for the night, gentlemen. I will be sticking around in chat.
Do you have any predictions on what might be on our list?
He knows.
He knows.
I do know. I mean,
think of one. Any that you don't think are on Espen's, because I think you know it's on Espen's list.
I kind of do, and in fact, unfortunately, you guys are like displaying it already. But I mean, that's a good one. I do know a couple things that Espen likes, so I'm not going to say them.
You can if you want.
Remember, Anthony's our man of the people, so you can always go for the man of the people.
You can also drop in the chat, too, because I know we have another caller, too.
Oh, we do have another caller in the wing. So, yeah. We'll think about it, and we'll definitely have people drop in the chat throughout here.
I will. I'll just say I'll just say something in the chat at some point in time when I think of one.
Darn tootin'.
Okay. All right. Have a good evening, gentlemen. This is going to be a great night.
Yes, it will.
Bye, squirrel.
Later, squirrel.
All right, bye.
All right. Cool. That was exciting.
Yeah,
I never heard of that game.
Yeah, and he brought it up. I remember he brought it up last time. Well, not for food and drink. There was another video he did.
It's
where he
come
brought
up
it
before, and I just remember seeing this, and I forget even where I had seen it, but I was just fascinated that a dietitian had designed it.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a. Well, he hasn't called in a very long time, but I'm very excited that he is calling today.
Yeah.
So we'll bring him on. I guess he made time after some Lorcana plays and stuff. So we'll bring on 3 and 2 and 1. We got Brian Chandler.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
Good to see you, friend. How you
My
doing?
glasses are reflecting a bit. Hey, long time, first time in a long time. I think I haven't been
Yeah.
in a while. Good to see you all again. Now I can't see you, so we're just gonna go with the reflective
There you go. You can do it. You can
readers
do it.
today.
There you go.
I'm good. I'm good. How's things in New Jersey?
So far so
Cooling
good.
off?
Yeah,
Cooling off.
Yeah.
Significantly cooler.
Got my long sleeves out finally. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's been great. Rainy and gray, just like we like it in the Northwest. All right, I've got 3 food-based games that I
Holy
don't
moly.
think are on anybody's list. I'll be surprised if they are.
Okay.
I do want to make a guess first, though. My guess is somebody, probably Anthony, has point salad.
I don't, although it was on my short list. I will say.
All right,
Yeah.
Good
that's
guess.
my guess.
Yeah.
I'll keep listening. Maybe I'll get into
If
a
this
guess
was a
later.
top 10 list, point salad would be on it.
All right, there we go.
Easy.
All right, number 1. 3 that I'll talk about very quickly. First one is Zombie Dice. Get it? Brain.
Yeah, I guess. I guess so, yeah.
Hey,
Brain.
zombies are people too. They got to eat.
That's true.
If you haven't played Zombie Dice, it's really fun, really simple, really dumb. It's a dice chucker, literally,
Yeah.
and push your luck dice chucker that I just find.
Oh, I'm not sharing it. Hang on.
Oh yeah, sure.
There you
There
go.
it is. I just find it delightful. The colors only matter because the different dice are different in the different colors. So even though the symbols don't matter, for those who don't know, I'm colorblind, and so I don't have to know the difference in the colors. Although sometimes it can kind of be handy for strategy to know what you're trying to roll. Basically, you're trying to roll a bunch of brains. You get points for all the brains you get to eat. You're trying not to roll the like shotgun blast things. That's I think how you get hurt, right, by the people who are trying to hurt you.
Yeah.
You get to basically choose. It's really a classic kind of nice intro push your luck. If somebody hasn't played a push your luck before, I think it's a really fun way to get into that dumb, silly, fun.
Is this the same, Brian? Is this the exact? Is it really the same thing? And because I've actually never done zombie dice, but I have Martian dice. Is it really the same thing
It's
as
roughly
Martian
this.
dice?
It's roughly
Kind
with a
of, but-
reskin or is
Yeah, I
it
haven't played
slightly
Martian
different?
dice, so I don't know for sure.
So, well, the biggest difference is in Martian dice, you roll all the dice
Right.
in the cup. In this one, you're rolling 3 at a time.
Okay, that is different. Yeah.
And once you, like, if you get 3 of these shotgun blasts, your turn's over, no matter how many brains you have sort of saved.
Yeah, you lose all your points, right? If you get to 3 shotgun blasts, you lose everything.
Yeah.
So that's the
Okay.
fun of.
This is one of my favorite dice games. I bring it to any kind of a board game club or class that I have. This is a huge hit.
Yeah, it's a staple for fillers.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's one of those. It looks like it's one like in the same way that I feel about Martian dice. It's like something you can easily pull to the table with anyone.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Squirrel saying that his son loves zombie dice, and he recorded his first game. First set of rolls produced 7 points
Wow.
in brains.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
That's fantastic. All right. So that's number 1. Number 2 for me, actually, both of these are, I think, a little bit under, they kind of fell under the radar from some designers that I know many of us know and love. The first one of those 2 is Truffle Shuffle.
Ah,
It's a great game.
that
This
was
is,
also on my short list.
Flat Out Games, AG published. Kind of, I think, got kind of lost in between the Cascadia Calico Verdant trilogy and points out they've put out a lot of games in a very short period of time from about 2019
Yeah.
until the present. They're still doing it, right? So this one is, I guess it's an AG game, again, designed by Molly, Sean, and Robert. It's got that kind of Seven Wonders.
I like this.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
setup.
build the pyramid, and then it's actually been a while, so I'm going to forget the rules exactly. But I think you pick 2 cards, maybe, but you can't pick a card that's covered up,
Right.
and then you're getting different points for that. It's in multiple rounds. Just very. I kind of brought it up. I was talking to Molly and Sean a few months ago, and it's actually one of their favorite games to just play together. It plays. I don't know if it's 2 only, but it definitely plays very well. Or
It's
really
really
nice.
fast.
This is a 4-player setup for
Yeah.
this
Okay.
one.
Yeah. I think it plays 2 to 4, but it's just a game that even the designers of the game still play probably more than any of their other games. So
It's actually incredibly easy to teach too because it has that family weight. Because my son has played this. I remember actually bought this. I had bought my wife like flowers and this game for Valentine's Day one year.
Oh,
What?
Nice.
I would get in trouble if I bought a
Oh
board
no,
game
she
for
expects
Valentine's
it.
Day.
Oh no, the flowers were very nice. Trust me.
Okay.
We went out to dinner too.
She
I
loves
didn't
you so
just-
much.
She does love me. But
I did
the
have a
point
little
was,
of
we did
Homer and
play
the
this a
bowling
lot,
ball
and-
vibe. From The Simpsons.
hey, it worked.
Sarah, by the way, saying that they love Truffle Shuffle. Agree, it kind of flies under the radar. Yeah, I
There's a
haven't
lot of
tried it.
games, right? You can't play everything, so I think it's but definitely one to keep an eye on. It's probably one of those too that, although we may be beyond this point now, but I know it kind of like it was in the sale bin for a while because I think it maybe didn't hit as fast, and so you could find it often at a local game store or online cheaper.
Yeah, I see.
I'm not sure where it's at now, but even at whatever it's at, $15 is a fantastic price on Amazon
it is.
for it.
If you actually look at this game and you figure when it comes out, though, it did fall. Like, there was a lot of good games out at the time when this released. So, I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
2020 was a solid year for games.
So,
It really was.
Not to play, but
yeah.
coming out.
All right, I've got one more. Actually, the exact same design team, not published by Flat Out or AG, but this is Public Market.
Didn't we see this at PAX? Didn't you and I, Anthony, see this at PAX Unplugged? I swear you and I were walking around looking at this one. It was the one at the
it's
Seaport.
back and pull up a couple things.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This one this literally is Pike Place Market in Seattle, where I have lived.
Aw.
Art is by Beth Sobel. Actually, the cover art you see there is the official slip cover. The art on the inside that I showed you is, I think, way better art, and I think that should have. I mean, it's all great art, it's Beth, but this is this art would have sold the game better. I think this is another game that just didn't sell that well. It's a. Oh gosh, I don't even know the name of this. Oh, Talon Strike Studios. Another thing that happened with this, it was a Kickstarter, and the extra Kickstarter stuff doesn't fit in the box. You get the lid lift thing, and that made some people annoyed, as sometimes happens. Basically, you're a fishmonger, and you're doing the fish thing, and you're getting fish, and there is some amount of kind of polyomino. Yeah, there we go. That's fantastic. I actually barely played this game. It's actually pretty medium heavy for what it is, or kind of what it looks like. But yeah, I think it's cool. Just another one of those that I think kind of got lost in the quote unquote shuffle of a lot of good games coming out around the same time there in that kind of 2019 to 2021 period from this design team. They cranked out a lot of games that I think were quite great. I think this one, just because they didn't publish it themselves and it didn't go through like an AEG style publisher, I think they're experimenting with different ways to do things, right? In terms of publishing their own or going through others. And I think this one was a bit of got lost in the midst of that. But if you ever see this one, I definitely would keep an eye out for it. But yeah, I'm curious too.
That's
if
right.
they did
Because
anything else.
it's
of
big
note.
vinyl. That's why we spent some time at that.
So, yeah, that Anthony just confirmed it then, because I remember we were at PAX Unplugged walking around, and we spent a lot of time. We did like a demo of vinyl, I think.
Yeah.
And with vinyl is one of our games. We definitely, Public Market must have been like right next to
next to
this.
Oh,
And
interesting.
vinyl was actually getting a ton of attention because vinyl just had a neat vibe to it, just with the different records for the different seasons. But
Yeah, and it maybe didn't show up in the sheet, but they have really rad little polyominoes, so it's
that's
got
pretty
kind of an Uwe vibe, right? Almost the Feast for Odin kind of ideas in it, even, and trying to fit the polyominoes into your thing. There's this really nice this bag, and you got your polyominoes in the bag. It's cool. Little crabs. Oh, that was the other thing. They were very aggressive with these little crabs. They're very
let me
cool
switch the-
meeples,
there
but
you
a
go.
lot of the crab feet broke.
Show the crabs
it
again. I
shipping?
want to see them.
Oh, did you miss it?
Yeah.
I should put them out. About a third of mine are probably broken.
Oh wow.
There you
those
go.
are good.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of tiny pieces.
Oh yeah, that I could see those breaking over time.
So again, lessons learned, right? You're kind of everybody's learning over time. They've been learning how to make stuff and make it better and everything. But no, clever little game that, yeah, I would also recommend. So that's my list for food games. I would be curious too as we go to. We haven't talked about this yet, but what do people? Do people eat when they play board games? I'm actually a no food at the table kind of board gamer personally, although I don't enforce that broadly.
Yeah.
With others, because I'm also not. Oh, it's interesting. I'm a quandary because here's what I am. I'm a no food at the table, but I'm also, generally speaking, not a sleever, nor do I care that much about the quote unquote pristineness of my games. I feel like games are made to play.
Yeah.
So why don't I allow myself to eat when I play board games? I do not know. This is I'm a
drinks
mystery
okay?
to me.
Welcome to the Cole Board Therapy Show.
Yeah, please.
We're here to help you figure out your life quandaries.
Please do. But no, I am curious about others too. Are you guys too? I forget. Do you guys eat at the board game table?
It really
Sometimes
depends
you play
on
at
Depends on the
dinner,
food.
right?
the
I know.
food. Yeah.
Not I don't want greasy stuff that's gonna get all over. If it's like, I think we were playing the other night and it was like the non-buttery popcorn that doesn't have stick, like that's fine.
That was last night.
Yeah, it was last night we were playing. So like to me that's okay, but
Yeah, no Cheetos.
Yeah, no Cheetos.
In all fairness, it might depend on the game too, because if I have like a massive game on the table with all completely sleeved that I've taken all that time to do
I
that,
can't imagine a Cheeto friendly game.
No.
there's no Cheeto friendly game.
Yeah.
If there's such, no. Yeah, I think Squirrel's got a point, but off at the side and you clean your hand. Like I actually with
Clean your hands. Yeah.
I'm kind of good with that.
And
Yeah.
Rachel's saying cups, a tea tray for keeping cups of tea.
Yeah, that's
That's a
nice.
good point.
All right. Yeah, I can see that.
It depends on
I
the
think you
game.
drinks. I've got the little, I have a game table now, and so I got the little slidey thing in with the cup holder.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah,
You
It
don't,
depends
so
on the
definitely
setting
no.
too.
yeah,
Like I
And
remember,
the person,
yeah.
right? Because some
Right.
people are sloppier eaters than others.
right.
Sure.
So like if you're eating like pizza over here and you're like, oh, you're stretching out your cheese, and then you like do this real quick and pick up your cards, I'm gonna be like skeeved out.
I'm gonna wholly admit too. It does the game part does matter because, and this is not on my list, but like Go Nuts for donuts. I have had donuts on the table for donuts, and I do not care about the quality of my Go Nuts for donuts.
But I wouldn't
donuts.
do like greasy foods
Don't care.
around a lot of paper stuff. Like Micro Macro Crime City. Imagine that with like
Oh,
greasy
Fingerprints.
fingers. that I found over here.
Is that the murderer? No, it's my thumbprint.
This wasn't my tablecloth, by the way. That's-
No,
That's a
fantastic.
good
Cool.
question.
That's my time, guys. I think looking forward to seeing more food games today.
awesome.
Yeah,
And stick around. Yeah, we're gonna probably go through
Yeah.
our list now.
yeah.
Yeah, I
do.
think we're ready.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
Later.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
And we can jump into that list, of course.
So no crossovers. Yeah.
No crossovers
with,
yet.
with the people.
No, but we'll see.
But if you do want to call in, you're more than welcome to call in at any point, and we'll bring you on in.
Yeah.
Squirrel's saying he guesses that Distilled is on a list.
Mm.
Okay. You want me to...
All
right, I'll just go right in.
Can
Distilled
I
is-
say? Can I
yeah.
say this?
Yeah.
I have done like the solo mode of Distilled once, and I'm not even fully convinced I played it correctly. If I play Distilled more, Distilled may end up on this.
So I think
list.
both of you would like Distilled, but you both haven't played it, right?
I've played. No, you let me borrow it, and I kind of played
Right.
the solo mode.
Right. Okay. Well, it's my number 2.
Okay.
Distilled, I like a lot. So I have 2 pictures of it. One from Paverson's Games website. It was designed by David Beck and art by Eric Evanson. And the other picture to the right of it, I took pictures of these 2 cards that stuck out to me.
Is that supposed to be large Marge?
It's totally Large Marge.
Nice.
From Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And this is totally a bottle of crystal.
Yup.
Look, it even says right here, one of the strongest spirits is Gozer, who threatened New York as the state of Marshmallow Man. So, I had to include it for sure. Oh, hey Kyle. Oh, he's been enjoying Steam Up lately.
I have yet to play Steam Up.
Yeah, same.
I've seen it on the shelf,
Yeah.
but I've never played it.
We're gonna bring up these all these other games in a moment.
Yeah.
But I do want to go back to Distilled. So in Distilled, what you're doing is you are completing different drink recipes. Okay, you're collecting different ingredients to create different spirits. You'll have a recipe list of all the different kinds of spirits you can make, like rum, gin, vodka, whiskey, all this sort of things. You'll have this recipe list where you have to spend some resources to learn what the recipe is. Then you need to get the ingredients. And whenever you get the ingredients, it's kind of a crapshoot whenever you make alcohol in this game. Because how it works is you're going to take a set of ingredient cards, water and yeast cards, shuffle them all together, and also add a bunch of alcohol cards in there. You shuffle them all together. And then you flip the deck around. You remove the top and the bottom card because you're like you're distilling it, right? I forget what it's called, like the runoff or something. And then you get rid of those two cards, and then the remainder cards you flip them over, and you see what spirit you can make out of that. And when you do make that spirit, you're going to need to put it into a barrel. You're gonna need to put it in a barrel to kind of shake it, and depending on what kind of spirit you want, you may want a barrel that can age it, or you may want something that is more like an aluminum thing that you can make like vodka or gin something off of. And then you bottle it, you put a little label on top of it, and you sell it for money and for victory points. It's adorable. Like, I love this game. Like, the resource market is just a resource market of cards where you're just going to be purchasing different ingredients, different materials to make the wines, like the bottles or the barrels. You'll have a central market. Sorry, that's the central market. Then you have like a generic kind of card market where you can just take any sort of.
So you're doing deck
specific
building?
things. You are. It's a little bit.
Okay.
Because all the ingredients you get, you're putting it off to the side.
Okay.
And then you shuffle all those cards together, and then you kind of see what you made. So you're sort of deck building, but not really, because what's going on is when you take those cards and put them all together, that is your drink, quote unquote. So imagine just every turn you're just constructing a deck. And with that collection of cards, if it's one that ages, it has to go into your storeroom, and then you add different flavor cards. They'll give it bonus points and stuff. It's awesome.
Luck mitigation is good. Is how
luck mitigation for sure. Right, because that's the thing. You could add additional ingredients because you're going to always remove two.
Right.
So you don't necessarily want to be at a position where you can't make the alcohol you want to make. It's great.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I would give it a shot.
And the components are gorgeous. And this is, I think, is a first design too for Dave Beck.
And he was on the show. I got a chance to talk to him on Creators Corner. One of my favorite Creators Corner that I've ever got a chance to do.
Yeah, he was solid on that Creators Corner.
Yeah, and when you hear his story and his passion for this, I think it's just really fascinating. So I'd encourage people to go back and just watch that conversation with him, because quite frankly, I just think he was great.
Yeah.
Such a great conversationalist.
Yeah. And if you have played Distilled, let us know in the chat. I mean, Squirrel I played it with as well. And I believe he did enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was Distilled. And let me see. So we missed some other stuff from people. Oh, right here. Sarah's saying you can tell a lot of love went into that game. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Again, that in just talking to him, the passion that came out from, because he went and traveled and learned to do this.
Yeah.
And
he owns it all too. And you know, and what's funny too, with the Kickstarter version, which I ended up getting, they have coasters as well, and a little shot glass, a little distilled shot glass.
Oh, that's
But what's nice is that it's not Kickstarter exclusive. You can buy it all on their website.
Right. I like that.
And then you can mention that you heard about it on our channel, Favorites and Games, and that is always good too.
Always nice.
But yeah, that was Distilled. I'll show this back on the list.
Yeah,
Number
yeah.
2.
And of course, if anyone does want to call and talk about their games that they love in the food and drink category, call Dash Board. As you know, Brian and Squirrel have already called in tonight. So,
well, Man the Meeple brought up beer and bread.
Well, go to my list.
Yeah. What number was that? For you?
I'm pretty sure it's number 1.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. If you want to bring up the images for Beer and
Beer and
Bread.
Bread, designed by Scott Alms.
Scott Alms. We've got the
Art by Michael Menzel.
It's a 2022 game by Deep Print Games. Now, here's the thing about Beer and Bread. This game doesn't take any more than 45 minutes. The theme right up front is beer and bread. And there's this friendly rivalry of sorts. It's supposed to be the thematic of the town of who's going to make the best beer and bread between these two kind of rival towns. And there's a few things that stand out about this game. One, there's a series of seasons. Sometimes you have more crops to make this beer and bread. Other seasons you have less. As you are actually playing cards to get these, you're going to be able to use the cards. They're multi-purpose cards. Scott Alms does this very well. So multi-purpose cards, some that you can tuck under, you might tuck it under the board to give yourself an upgrade, but you might need the ingredients. So you might be playing it a different way. The other thing about this game that I really dig is the fact that, well, we're mindful as we're playing this game of what is out there and what we can take. We only have so much storage. And if you go over in your storage in this game throughout the rounds, and something has to leave, guess who it goes to?
Your opponent.
Your opponent.
Yeah.
And so you are, even though...
You get to decide, though, right?
You get to decide, but you're still... You may be forced to give them something that they need. And to me, again, this game just as a back and forth... And it's a two-player game, which... let's face it, if you know me by now, you know I love my two-player games.
Yes.
It plays so effectively in that 45-minute span, but it does feel deeply strategic.
You both on it's not the asymmetrical, is it?
No.
No.
And if you look at these cards, you can see it. You could play these cards just to get the resources. You could play them for those upgrades. Those upgrades are incredibly impactful to the game.
And you're drafting them, too, right?
Yeah,
You
and
take
they're-
a card, you hand it over.
And the drafting changes from round to round,
Right.
too. So there's different rules for drafting in the first, third, and fifth round versus the second and the fourth.
Okay.
And the fields, you have dry seasons that are you're gonna have less stuff in the
Either
fields.
6 and 4.
Yeah. Also, I just want to point out, I just think the board is designed really well. Everything is very clear. Symbols are very clear. Super easy to teach. So yeah, for me, Beer and Bread, it's my number 1. It does not hurt that I enjoy both beer and bread. So, but
There you go.
as for this game, this is a newer game. But this was one of the pickups from PAX Unplugged that I can't imagine this going anywhere.
What I like about it is the size. It's such a small box.
It is.
That, but it has a lot in there packed in. You know.
It's perfectly packed in, and it doesn't. It's everything you need to play the game is right there, and
Yeah, I really want to try this.
yeah, it's great.
I think you would like it.
Yeah, you'll dig this. I'm happy to play it anytime.
It's Beer and Bread.
Cool.
And Dan's here. Hey, Dan.
Dan, let us know what's the score, bud. You got to help me out.
Yeah.
I'm sure the Eagles are.
Well, they were up 3-0 when I left the house.
I'm sure they're winning.
Okay, let's keep going down the list of guesses. Sarah has guessed Taverns of Tiefenthal will be on the list. Now, I'm going to just say Beer and Bread was my number 6. Was originally my number 5.
Right.
But last night for the first time, you came over.
Yep.
And for the first time,
The first time you came over?
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Oh, and it squeaked on. Number
Yeah.
5.
So this is designed by Wolfgang Warsch, art by Dennis Lohausen from 2019, a Schmidt-Spiel game, which I think the copy I have is from North Star Games. Yeah, North Star Games. And in this game, you are going to be bringing different patrons on into your tavern. This is effectively kind of like the spiritual sequel to Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Okay.
It's the same designer, and it has some similar things going on, but instead of the chip pull, it's cards, and it's not really a push your luck as much as it is you just draw until you've reached a certain point. You can't bust.
Okay.
Like in Quacks of
There's no
Quedlinburg.
busting.
So in this game, you're going to be filling up your bar with your constructed deck of cards, and as you go on, you're gonna roll some dice. You're gonna draft those dice with your opponent, and you will be putting them on different spots for collecting different either resources like gold or beer, or you may be using them to do different abilities like go up on a specific track, and that's pretty much how the game's going to go across 8 rounds. It's just kind of like an engine building kind of affair.
And it is a game. I had never thought when I played
13-7. There you go.
When I played this with Ryan, prior to that, I never thought about it with the Quacks comparison, even though the designers were there as such. But it makes sense as he described it. The big thing that I like about this is you also have the ability to upgrade your board, so you will be able to spend your money to upgrade. The beer will buy certain things, the money will buy different things. You have storage, but you're going to want to upgrade your storage potentially. But you might want to upgrade your dishwasher because then you can mitigate mitigated dice to make it a 4 to a 5.
Yeah, that lets you change the dice.
Okay.
Yeah, they all have different abilities.
But you might want to mitigate, flip over the one tile where it's a dog, and suddenly it's the equivalent of the card
it's a server.
that gives you an extra dice. So now you have a server every round. So you can play this a lot of different ways. I have very much enjoyed it to the point it is also on my list.
And oh yes, that's true. Hang on, let me go get that. And we're playing it right now in Yukata.
Crossover.
And it's my number 2. So you've found my number 1 and my number 2 already. Yeah, I love this game. It'd been a while since I played it. Probably been about a year since I played it, and then I played it last night, and I was just reminded how much I love this one.
And you had it lower in your list until you played it.
Yes, this brought it up. This brought it up, and we played. I had not actually played with the last module, which I'm now playing on Yukata.
Yeah.
And I'm very much. I'm at the point where I've got the expansion in my cart on Amazon.
Yeah, so the game has different modules in there that you can add on and make it a bit you can just make it a bit more, right? And here's the thing, I'm liking it with the modules so far, but I feel like it is starting to wane a little bit. I'll still play it again some more. That's why it's still at the number 5, because I did like it better than Beer and Bread still.
Yeah.
I still enjoy it. But I feel like I prefer some of the simplicity of the original one over some of the additional modules.
Yeah.
I'll still play with I'll play it either way.
I personally think my opinion on the modules is also, I think I said this when we first played, in terms of, I like picking 1 or 2, but not all.
Yeah.
I think one module, like the starting board module, or certain things like that.
You can't do that though. So in Tavern of Tiefenthal, you have to do the modules in order. So if you decide to do module 3, you have to include module 1 and 2.
Yeah, but like the Scotch module, which Squirrel's mentioning, like I really like the Scotch module.
Schnapps.
What did I say?
I mean, that's
He
what
wrote Scotch.
Yeah,
but Schnapps.
But it's
Chips.
which I think is it the same thing? I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
The point is, I think that one in particular, I like.
Yeah.
Again, I might house rule it sometimes, quite frankly, because I quite frankly think certain things with the modules. I don't necessarily want all modules in the game, but I do like this one. And like I said, I'm considering the expansion, to be quite honest, because I've got Amazon gift cards and it's there. So yeah.
Taverns of Tiefenthal.
Yeah, there it is.
Very nice.
And Anthony is.
And Sarah brings up a good point. You can upgrade different parts of your tavern.
Yes.
And that is a very enjoyable part, because what's going to happen, right? This tavern is kind of like a puzzle piece, you could see.
Yeah.
So it's double-sided. It starts off with the coin side face up, because you could spend that amount of coins to flip it over and upgrade it. Okay. So it'll just be like a better benefit.
And like upgrading from 3 tables to 4 tables.
So I want to play this again and focus on the tables, because it sounds like... Because you stop adding cards until you fill up your tables, right?
Right.
So if you have a ton of tables out, then you're going to be okay.
And your turn's going to be longer?
And more cards will come out, more opportunities will come out.
But you're still going to need... True, but you're still also going to need the right other cards to come out.
Yeah, so more options.
So I think we need to do this experiment, because that's an interesting thing.
To focus on just like getting tables out as soon as possible. So, all right. Good guess. Let's keep going down the guest list.
Yeah,
let's do it.
So right after that, Rachel guessed Food Chain Magnate, which is on
2 lists.
Your list.
Yeah. It's on 2 lists at least.
So you could talk about
I don't
it
actually
now.
know if it's on Anthony's. I assume it's not.
I haven't played it.
Yeah. So
Spoilers, I'm in the picture. Hang on. Let me just bring it up, by the way. It's also my number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that we all know where it is. It's in your top 20, so it's
My
gotta be.
second favorite game.
I know.
Period.
So we knew this was going to be here.
So designed by Splotter, right?
This game is crazy. You can be losing 2 turns in, which I know doesn't sound great to a lot of people, but
I love that.
But so when the teach of this happened and we played it on the channel.
We did.
We played it on the channel, right?
We did, right around my birthday.
I'm remembering correctly. When we played this on the channel, the way Ryan did the teach was to give us some advantage and give us some heads up on plays to make, because you are trying to make decisions in this game to build your business, to collect the resources you need to get to ultimately get the victory points you're going to need at the end.
Yeah.
But it's a game that does not look pretty per se.
No, it doesn't.
I'm just no, it doesn't.
I love it.
You
Do you
cannot
really?
tell.
I
me-
do.
I think it looks prototypey.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I
I'm just-
like that.
I'm just-
it's snarky. I
It is
like that.
snarky.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, this is a thinky game that 1 or 2 wrong moves, and to that point, 1 move could just lose you the game.
Yep.
But thematically, I could not put this on the list because I was engrossed in the game.
Yeah.
And it just drew me in. And so for me, it had to be on. You can describe
I will.
the complexity of the gameplay much better than me. But I wanted to speak to the fact that I was drawn into the game.
Yeah.
And I cared so much about my stupid little restaurant.
You did great too.
I did pretty decent.
Yeah.
I did
You
decent.
came second, I think.
Yeah, I think I... So, to the point, though, that...
I came in dead last, by the way.
Right.
I want to preface that.
But
Yeah.
can we also preface that there was an extra board where he could get bonuses that he was not allowed to use the entire game as
that was a
experienced player.
huge
And that
disadvantage.
piece, that extra board, is
That's-
a critical part to the game.
Yeah.
Just to put it, but yeah.
So Squirrel's right, by the way. It is a game where you can lose on setup.
Yeah.
And you know, it's just because Squirrel didn't want to listen to me, which is fine. So you can lose this game on setup. And then Rachel saying that she remembers watching the Food Chain Matinee birthday stream. What, Brian? You never finished this? Oh man, you should. Okay, all right. Let me go back to this. Food Chain Matinee, right? Such an amazing game. An amazing game that tells such snarky stories.
It's his
In the-
number 2 favorite game. So,
Like, yeah. So
let's just stress it.
and honestly, as soon as this option of favorite food and drink games came about, I was like, all right, well, it's like Food Chain Magnate,
Yeah.
everything else,
Just
right?
name four.
Everything else. In this game, you are going to be running a restaurant for people in town. Player with the most money wins. The game ends when the bank runs out of money twice.
Yeah.
Which is pretty funny because it starts only with $50 per person, and then it adds on more money, and then the second time it's gone. And it's a game where if there's one person that's clearly in the lead, there's no question they're gonna win. It's impossible for anyone to catch up. So you have to be okay with that mindset. You have to be okay with getting completely obliterated because of a mistake. And here's why I gravitate to this game. One, because I lose way more than I win in this game. And I learn, at least I like to think I learned, from the mistakes as to why I did it. And I'll know, I'm at a point now, I'll and it doesn't take a lot to, even like on your first play, you'll know why you lost. Squirrel lost because he put his restaurant on the wrong spot in the beginning of the game. He knows that. He'll learn that for the future. You know, if there's a future for Food Chain in your life. And going back to like some of the art, it goes to like that snarky kind of like, yes, it looks very clip arty 50s dystopia kind of thing, because in this town people only want exactly what they're advertised to and will only go to the restaurant that's offering the cheapest and has everything that they have in there. And then the expansion adds some great things. There's a coffee module, which is phenomenal. Basically, anytime someone wants to go to a restaurant to purchase their meal, if they pass by any restaurants that are selling coffee, they will pick up every coffee on the way to their destination. But if the destination has coffee, they don't get coffee there. They only get coffee on the way. And if there's ever a tie as to what direction to go to, the couple in the car fight and don't go to either place
That's
and continue.
funny. That's
yeah.
funny.
It's hilarious.
It's funny when you think about this, but to that point, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to win the game, and I was really trying to win second place. And I'm saying win second place because that was the most positive way I could look at it. But yeah,
but you said you would play it again.
Oh yeah, I would play it again. I want to play with the ketchup or whatever.
So there is a thing called the catch-up mechanism, right? That's and it's just a little bonus. And you can actually, it's not really a catch-up mechanism.
No,
you
I just
could modify it, but
I'm just saying it for the pun.
Yeah.
That's
the pun's
the
great.
only reason I said it.
Yeah.
I just know it's called that.
Yeah. And then there's one with sushi in it, and there's noodles, and oh man, it's so cool. Anyways, I could go on about this game.
But play it once. I'd say this for anyone. Try this game once, and if you hate it, you're going to hate it.
And if you're ever like, if you're at PAX
try it.
Unplugged and want to play it, I will spend time to teach Food Chain Magnate at PAX Unplugged.
I watched him teach Cosmic Frog. He'll do this.
I will happily. I love teaching Food Chain Magnate because part of the goal of teaching Food Chain Magnate is to make sure people understand the game and want to come back to it. I don't want to obliterate people on their first play of Food Chain Magnate. That's just not fun. So, some talks. Let's see. Mike T saying, I think timing is also important in Food Chain Magnate. When to invest in building your engine versus when you want to cook and sell in order to earn your money.
That's a good point.
And that's a huge point because Food Chain Magnate, when you play with other people that know how to play, is a game that you have to constantly change your strategy based on what other people are doing. And you always have to be ready to pivot. If you're not ready to pivot and just focus on a strategy and don't change, you will lose.
But that's why I liked it.
Yeah.
Just for anyone to know, that's why I liked it, because I did think I had to think on my feet.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was enjoyable. Yeah. But that was Food Chain Magnate, everybody.
Good. I'm glad people
Yeah,
want
and we
to try
really
it.
have to scroll back. Thank you for all the comments in here. We will definitely try to hit all these.
Oh, yeah, and it's over there. My Food Chain Magnate. Too.
Yeah, because it's number 2.
It's number 2. Sorry, I hit you.
Let's see. What else we got?
All right. After Food Chain Magnate was called...
we had Viticulture
wait.
is anyone's list there.
Oh, okay. Was that the last one?
I think that was it, because there's all the
Yeah.
talk of taverns in there.
So Viticulture was next by Mitchell Memories.
Is Viticulture anyone's list? Why, yes, it is. It is on my list. I don't know about you guys, but it is my number 3.
That's my number 4.
Okay,
okay.
all right.
It's not on my list.
You're supposed to do the thing.
You got a toot. Oh yeah, we overdo on toots. But that's all right.
I can make up the 2.
That's all right.
Fine.
Yeah, toot for crossovers. I mean, Viticulture is super thematic.
Yeah.
Right? It's a great worker placement game with just the perfect amount of spots, I think, to go where you're not like totally overwhelmed. There's also some spots that are only available on one season versus the other. And essentially you're trying to get victory points by doing everything wine related. You're planting the grapes, you're harvesting them, you're building buildings on your vineyard that are going to increase your production efficiency and how big your fields are, how much you can plant, how much you can sell. There's what are the mamas and papas in the beginning that you get, kind of give you a little bit of direction for the game. Now this is a game that's been reprinted at least once.
Yeah.
There's been an expansion, at least one of. Mm-hmm. There's been a reprinting that included most parts of that expansion.
The essential
edition.
Which
is what I have.
Which is what also gets generally recommended.
Yeah. And then there's now the cooperative version, which we haven't tried.
Which, for the record, we have a copy of.
We still have a review copy of that.
We have a review copy that we life happened, but that is one that we will be planning to get to the table.
Yeah, and Squirrel's right. The pop-up cards. It's the Loki and the Mama cards.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's great. It looks awesome on the table. All the little different building pieces, and you got your rooster there for your turn order. Who's going to wake up earliest?
And I really like that part, where
that's
you're
cool.
going to go and picking that choice of turn selection. And there are cards, and it can be a little wild because you don't know what cards you get with what abilities. So there is a random factor to that. But I will say the thing about this game, thematically, it just works so well. I really enjoy it. I really like worker placement. So for me, this game is kind of a shoe into that list.
Yeah.
And I think if you get the Essential Edition and then you get some of the expand, if you like it, then you would want to consider the additional stuff for the game. But the core game, I think, just it does what it's supposed to do really well.
100%.
And I mean, it's a perfect game to pair with a glass of wine.
It is.
Like,
Definitely.
it really, truly is if there's a game you're going to pair with a glass of wine, it's this game.
Oh, yeah. You sip, you move your meeple. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's definitely a step above. I wouldn't call it an intro level worker placement game,
No.
but it is not too far off of that. Meaning, it's a good second.
You could take people into it pretty early on in their journey.
I would say, in terms of like ranking those worker placement games, it would probably a step above Stone Age.
Right, exactly
In
what I
terms
was
of
thinking.
weight.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Very similar concept. If you look at both boards, you're like, oh, here's a bunch of stuff that I can put my people on
But
to
see,
do.
Stone Age bores the crap out of me.
Well, yes, the theme is
this
definitely-
doesn't.
Stone Age comes with a die cup, a smelly dice cup, right?
Yeah,
Great.
It does.
Great. I don't want to play. This, like I say, give me. And I'm not even a wine person, but yeah. And I think when one of the first times I played it, one of the first times I played it was with Anthony.
Yeah.
And my friend Jonathan. Someone brought wine. It wasn't me. But there was wine, and we had a glass of wine, and we.
It does go well with
They're
it.
always one.
If I am playing viticulture, wine is appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
So yeah,
So yeah, that's my number 3 and
my number 4.
your number 4.
Yeah,
it's a
so
crossover.
I've only got one left.
All right.
I feel like usually mine is the one that's been totally
Usually.
exposed by now,
Yeah.
right? And I'm
Yeah.
just sitting back waiting for it to happen. It's crazy. All right,
That's
who's got
because we're saving you for dessert.
Oh.
Right? Sorry. Okay, but hang on.
Yeah, we got a lot to scroll.
Your
through.
guy called it though, I believe too. Dan's also saying Sushi Go.
Yeah, Dan's naming
yes.
both in one. Sushi Go, I think, is my number 2. It is. This is
And
from.
it's
Oh, is it
Finish
on
my,
yours too?
finish my list.
And
Number
it's your-
3.
Oh
Number 3.
boy,
And it's my number 7.
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, are we clear if this is the party edition we're talking about?
I
For
put-
me, yes.
Yeah. I put
Okay,
the
because
party
that's
edition.
for me very specifically party edition.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So this is Phil Walker Harding,
Mm-hmm.
who has a lot of amazing games, and from Gamewright, who puts out a lot of great kids games that are really fun for adults too.
Oh, yeah.
You mentioned Go Nuts for Donuts, which
Yep.
has a similar vibe to Sushi Go, similar artwork too.
Yep.
But I do like this one better. This is a classic card drafting game where you're going to get a set of cards in your hand. You're going to pick one, put it face down, hand them off to the next person, and everyone's going to reveal what they chose. It's a whole lot of set collection, and the party version really just expands the amount of cards, but you can customize it, which is great.
Yeah.
So it comes with a board, which the original game
Which
was
is,
just
but
cards.
that's the other critical piece to me.
Yeah.
That board has the spot to put everything on the menu and track your score. You're not like trying to write it down or
Yeah, you
put
had to
it
write
somewhere
down
in
your score
between,
as
which you
well.
would have done in the regular game.
For sure. But yeah, it's great. Like I said, a lot of replayability with this version because you can mix up, and they have like in the rulebook recommended, sets of cards to use. You can do that. You don't have to. You can do whatever
crazy.
you want. And they're more complex. Some are more complex than others. But if you've ever played the regular Sushi Go and you like it, this is a no-brainer. You gotta
yeah.
get this one.
Just get sushi. Honestly, I just tell people get Sushi Go Party. If they say,
Yeah.
Oh, I've heard about Sushi. No, just get Sushi Go. Like,
Yeah.
there's no because you can play Sushi Go from Sushi Go Party.
Yeah.
And the price difference is minimal.
Yeah, you have more variety.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
more variety, and you can. I mean, I've done up to 8, and it works out fine. And it
yeah.
works great at 3.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is always a big hit. This is a great intro to drafting as a mechanism, for sure. I've had success with this game with kids and adults. The only thing that happens sometimes, especially with the kids, although probably with the adults too, if they've never done the drafting thing before, it can be tricky if you have a player who's quickly picking their card, putting it down, passing the cards off to the first. Like I've had to pause a game before and try to figure out what's going on because someone has more cards than someone else.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
not
yeah.
supposed to happen. That means
Right.
someone didn't pick something up or someone, whatever, messed something up. But yeah, that's Sushi Go.
Yeah.
Party edition. Fantastic game.
Do you want to eat sushi when playing it?
It doesn't. I don't like crave sushi when I'm playing it.
I don't even like sushi, so
Oh,
and I
really?
love this game. So
Okay.
there you go.
I like
All right.
sushi.
I like sushi too.
Yeah.
I don't eat a whole bunch of stuff, but I eat a good amount.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Sushi Go. So yeah, my list is done.
There you go.
That's all right.
You've all wiped out my list. So
That's all right.
So Brian's guessing A Feast for Odin, and A Feast for Odin would have been on my list. But
Okay.
here's why it's not. When we were going over deciding what games to include for this list,
Sure.
part of it, right, was going to be, it has to be a game that's like, yep, that's a food game. And with Feast for Odin, yep, that's a Viking game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why it's not here.
Right.
But it would have been above Taverns of Tiefenthal had it been on the
Okay.
list.
Okay.
that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, and yes, I am wearing a T-shirt of the Tick. See, the Tick.
I do think there was I didn't think I saw a note earlier where someone was mentioning Agricola and
Same reason.
and that's the same reason that we
Yeah.
were talking about at the beginning is like Agricola would be on this list if that was we were categorically going that route because Agricola's a fantastic game, but it's a farming game.
So another reminder too, this is a call aboard style show too. So if you do want to call in and highlight your specific game, you're more than welcome to. Just go to call-aboard.
Yeah, we've had a few.
See the thing?
Yeah, we had a few callers tonight. We welcome more. We know some of you have called before, but first-time callers, just so you know, if you don't want to put your face on screen, we can just do the audio too. But I promise you, we're really friendly and we'd
Yeah.
love to see you. So
Cool. All right. So man of the Meeple brought up point salad. That's not on anyone's list.
if it was a top 10, sure.
Yeah. Agreed.
Let's see. Let's keep it going down this list. Three Sisters. See, I would put that as a farming one, right?
Yeah.
I could see it where it is really I really do like that game, but I think I leaned into that for the farming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's
could
more
see-
about the process of creating the food. Well, I take that back because
No,
so it was
but
like
I-
distilled, right? I mean, that's
I
so
could
was
see-
anything that we picked.
So-
I
is
could
anything.
I think that
So,
almost sells me
would
into
it be a
putting it
foot?
in the top 10.
Yeah.
I think it still won't be in my top 5, but that's a good argument. I think
Okay. I mean, I haven't played it.
Yeah.
So
I really like that. It's my favorite of the
Yeah.
three from them.
let's see. I haven't done any of the Red Dragon Inns. I haven't done Grand Austria Hotel yet, but I think I would love that one.
I have a copy that needs to be played,
Yeah.
so let's solve this.
Sure.
Let's.
Have
solve
you ever
it.
played Red Dragon Inn?
No.
Have you ever played Red Dragon Inn?
I've never played Red Dragon Inn. Marcel and I actually were intended to play it the last time I saw him.
It's actually really silly fun. It's
yeah.
a great. You can drink. It,
See,
it
we
can be
have
a real drink. game if you
herbaceous or
want it to be.
delicious.
So delicious as the roll rate is interesting. Herbaceous, I never thought about it in that way, but I really do like herbaceous. I think I've told you we actually have a video. Herbaceous
Yeah.
Versus
We
herbaceous
did a video
sprouts,
where,
right?
where we did herbaceous versus herbaceous sprouts, and I actually like herbaceous sprouts better. I don't know if I thought about it as a food game though.
Yeah.
It's a fair point though.
Azul is delicious for sure.
The chocolatier version though.
Yeah, that was brought down.
Oh,
down
did
bit.
someone mention
Someone
that?
did mention that.
Okay, because
too.
there is the chocolatier version.
That would,
No,
yeah.
I can't call that a
Right
food
here,
game though,
Marcel.
because that's just feels like
It's just
cheating.
an
Because
abstract
Azul would be
game.
right at the top if I had to call it a
Yeah,
food
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Who else?
Wow, so
Did I
many
miss
comments.
anyone?
I love
Agricola we brought up.
Yeah.
Vinos I still haven't played yet.
Yeah, never
It's on my
played
shelf of shame. But you know, I'll get there. It's right over behind that stack.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Nope, I lied. It's right next to Pret a Poitiers.
I lied too. I
over
didn't see
there.
it.
Oh, you got me.
Now I see it.
And then let's see. Did I miss
What
anyone?
did Brian say about
Oh,
Tuscany?
Tus-
Dice
Tuscany.
game
Oh.
and Agropolis.
Well, I guess you're.
Would you?
catching-
I'd argue Three Sisters is more of a food game than Flee the Dice game.
Yes.
Okay,
But I
would-
still don't think that they
I
wouldn't make this list for me.
A feast is not a good game. Not a food game. Yeah. I mean, you know.
before we do that, can we jump into the Tuscany Comic? Because I think this is
Oh.
Anthony's right. That expansion to me is pretty essential
Tuscany.
at
Yeah.
this point. I think that is pretty essential. So I just want to back. Would you agree?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Eagles are doing good.
I see that.
Good
job.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, Taverns is a bar game though. No, don't.
That's
no,
true.
it was a food or drink though. Food
It's
or drink.
just food. You're
Food and
serving the dice is the
Yeah,
equivalent
but
of serving
okay.
the food.
But going back to Feast for Odin, right? You go whaling, right? You pillage. You collect different resources. You do all sorts of things that it's not just
Yeah.
food. That's why it's
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider a feast for Odin.
Throw a burrito.
Sorry. throw. Yeah, there you go. Throw
Yes,
a burrito.
that technically would work.
That could be a food game. Oh, abandon all artichokes.
My list is done.
No, I know, but would it be on your 10 or no?
My top 10 for
Yeah?
sure.
It's my
Abandon
number
all-
4, yo.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Whoa.
game.
All right.
Surprise.
I did not expect that.
I love this game.
Oh, so
Cool.
good.
Yeah, so Abandoned Artichokes, designed by Emma Larkins from Game Right Games, published in 2020. I played this a lot with Bryant in the chat as well on Board Game Arena. I think we've done like over 100 games of this one.
Oh, wow.
It's a deck builder where you're trying to deconstruct a deck. And I love trashing in deck builders. And this is just like...
That's the core
trashing
feature of
the
this
deck builder
game.
game, because
Yep.
you're trying to get rid of all your artichokes and start with a hand of no artichokes, and that is the game. I love this one. I think it's fantastic. The art is cute. I like artichoke in some stuff. I never eaten an artichoke just by itself, but I've eaten it like with other stuff.
Does anyone in the chat have you eaten artichokes?
I've had
before?
artichoke
I
hearts.
don't know, but I really have.
Brian Chandler, right? And that I think that was in his top 20.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, wow.
I think that was his top 20 this year.
It was that is that Emma's only design, or has Emma designed anything else?
No, she's designed other games.
Okay, was
but-
that her first design though?
No, I don't believe so either.
Okay. Because
Um,
I was very impressed by the design of this game. There's a few promo cards for it. I think
The rhubarb.
Yeah, the rhubarb.
Yeah.
I think you and Squirrel both got me some of those promos. And this game is just
It's
just
so
fun.
small.
And it's this simple little tin.
I mean, I hate
And
that it's so odd-shaped tin.
Yeah.
I
Because
wish
it's for storage purposes.
I wish they didn't do that, but
But
I get
I like
why.
I get it.
I understand why, because it does draw your attention on the shelf. Because I bought mine at a Kohl's
Yeah.
for like $5
Oh,
on clearance,
okay.
and it jumped right out to me. I didn't have trouble finding it.
Yeah.
So
So abandoned artichokes for sure. My number 4, solid deck builder. Where
by
you
the,
get to
by the way,
deconstruct.
there was a comment earlier. Don't play Grand Austria with more than 3. Apparently, is a recommendation being sent to us.
I'll take your word for
So we're gonna.
Okay.
So just worth noting.
Oh, right here, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't play with 3. More than 3.
More than 3. So play with up to 3. it
See,
sounds like.
Cupcake Empire was not brought up, nor have I played it.
I have not
played
played
it?
Cupcake Empire. No.
Let's see. Scroll like Red Dragon Inn.
Yeah.
And
Truffle Shuffle got brought up earlier.
oh yeah, and there was an expansion for Grand Austria Hotel that brought stuff.
Yes.
Chocolate Factory I haven't done yet, but I did like the conveyor belt thing of that. Seize the Bean I haven't played yet. Truffle
So-
Shuffle was brought up.
Yeah, can I just mention? There's
Yeah.
a whole other concept in my head about, and I didn't put. I don't, and I think in my brain I don't put food.
Good coffee.
It's coffee, and coffee I put in its own category because I've had a whole long struggle with finding the right coffee game, and we've got a whole We've got a copy of
Coffee
a game
Traders still
of
waiting.
Coffee Traders that
Yeah.
I'm dying to play, and I looked at the rule book and I said I'm going to watch a video. So, but
I know
yeah,
my favorite coffee game is maybe Coffee Roaster. I guess.
I guess. I know with the games it's not, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still looking for the one.
Fisher
that I-
Food guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes,
Coffee
we
roaster.
understand.
Okay, no, that's true.
Fish are friends, not food.
are friends.
Right. Let's see. Formosa Tea. Haven't done that one. Man, there's a lot of food games. Now I'm gonna feel bad when they're like, "Oh, why would you pick that one?"
Yeah. Hold on,
License to Grill.
It's yes.
Oh, yeah.
I remember that in the Discord that was being
that was
talked
on the
about.
Kickstarter.
Mm.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I did want to check that one out.
Oh man. Oh, look at all these.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
it's going
next
down.
tourney. Oh, that's
Testing Artichokes expansion content right now. I'm down.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Mitchell's bringing up consumption, reminded him of the balance you'll have to manage in the Kickstarter license to grill.
Okay.
all right, that's piquing my interest even
Heaven
more.
and Ale, haven't tried yet. It's
So,
on my to play shelf.
I have
over
attempted
there.
it I wasn't in love with it, but I'm planning to play it again because I gave it to him to try.
Yeah. Bonanza almost made my list. That's an Uwe Rosenberg classic.
I've only played it once.
It's great.
So I can't judge it enough from one play.
No, it's good. There you go. Teach coffee traders. Steam Up hasn't. Kyle Rowan, who's bringing Vagrant Song expansion next week, brought it up. Forbidden Dessert. Yeah. All right, Anthony.
What?
Go ahead. Go with your number 5.
My number 5 is a game about dessert. Came out, I believe, last year from Stronghold Games. It's called Dolce or Dulce, depending on how you say it. From designer Julio Nazario. Plays 1 to 4. So in this game, everybody has the same deck of cards. I think it goes up to 24. And they're all different cafes, basically, that make different kinds of desserts. And the way the game works is one person in the game will have their deck shuffled, but the rest of you want to keep it in order, because what's going to happen is they're going to draw one of their cards, and whatever number it is, everyone's going to pull out that number, because your decks are identical.
Yeah.
Okay? So I pull out number 15, you guys all get your 15. And so you decide what to do with that card. Your choices are, you can basically build the cafe by keeping it off to the side of your board, or on the flip side of it is basically a grid of 4 resources that you'll put onto your personal board and add the resource cubes to it. There's 5 different resources, I believe, and then there's like a wild that's eggs. Brian, you're gonna hate the color scheme in this game, man. They're like gray, vanilla, brown, light brown, and like white.
Ooh.
And no different symbols either.
It's brutal. It really is. There's definitely my one knock on the game. But basically, so your player board is going to eventually get filled up with these resources. And by the way, you can overlap these cards however you see fit, because your board's pretty small. The grid is pretty small. Thank you.
I'll bring that up just so you can see.
You can overlap. You can put it right on top of another card. You can cover just one corner if you want. If you cover something that already had a cube on it, basically you're making byproduct, and that's how you get wild resource, because basically anything you don't use is going to be used to feed your chicken. So on your player board, the score track is around there. That's where you put your score marker. But on the outside of the board, you lay it down, your chicken marker, which goes around, and you can trade in any 3 eggs for a wild resource. So that's how that works. So if you build the thing and you have it on the side, on a future turn you decide to harvest, you're going to take all the resources in one row or column on your board and distribute them to the different factories. So you'll see on the factory cards it has what resources they need. So peanuts is going to go to the peanut brittle, etc. The cool thing about this is that the resources on the cards have rings of either 1, 2, or 3. And so when you first get the resource, it's the raw ingredient. Okay? So it's raw peanuts, it's raw vanilla bean, whatever. Mm-hmm. The second thing is like a lower quality, so to speak. It's ground ingredient. And then there's, I think, butter. Right? So everything's got these 3 like levels. So when you decide to make something at a factory, if it was, say, a 3-ring one, you can move it to another spot that has either 2 or 1 rings. So it's like this cascading thing of the resources that can be pretty satisfying, because you're obviously trying to get, the most bang for your buck and get the most out of those resources. But even if you can't put it anywhere else, byproduct, it still goes to the chicken. So you're always building up your egg bank, basically, to fill in those empty spots. Game ends when I think all the cards are out, or I forget what triggers game, and I apologize. But yeah, that's Dolce. Pretty good combination of these resource gathering and like building stuff. Colors are awful, but it's a fun play.
Yeah, Marcel adding, this looks pubbable. Our word is working.
Yeah,
it's spreading.
Is it small? Is it small?
It's not that small. It's the size of
Cafeable.
I don't know, with all those little cubes. I'd be worried about losing them.
That's true.
And then
they're smaller than your average cube too.
Brian noting that he's gonna have to try and see if he can figure this out with color barriers.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Awesome. There was a guess or two, so we should.
One of those guesses, I believe, was correct. So we have, yep, right here. I see one.
No, that's my numero uno New York Slice.
What?
Yo. From Jeffrey D. Allers.
Okay.
Bezier Games came out in 2017, and this is actually a reskin of an older game called
Is it Piece of Cake?
Piece of Cake. Yes,
Right?
Piece of Cake. And then I believe was actually re-implemented again.
Like a la mode? Pie a la mode? Or
I think they made another pizza version of this game, but it's not called New York Slice, and I'm not sure why.
I think we got a ban.
I don't know.
What happened?
Oh, that's makes me laugh.
Oh,
Oh, that's spam?
I think that's spam.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
cool.
Anyways, go ahead.
When you guys when you're active enough that we get spam, we know it's a highly engaging.
That's good.
night,
We've
so
made
thank
it.
you.
We've arrived, folks.
Oh, yeah, toot. Don't forget to toot.
Oh,
Toot for spam.
No, go on about New York Slice.
New York Slice. What I love, the reason why this is number one,
2 for spam.
this game is a phenomenal, like, total package without any question about it. It comes in a pizza box.
Yep.
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
It does.
The menu,
The scoreboard.
this,
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. The
rule book
instructions.
is a menu
Yeah.
that really looks like a menu. Like in that picture, you cannot tell that that's a rule book for a game. It looks like a menu. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The fantastic graphic design is phenomenal. The score sheet is that guess check you see there. Even like made of that thin paper that you actually use when you have those things.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this is a I split you choose type of game where there's going to be random stacks of these pizza slices and you're going to build a pie. I believe it's 11 or 12
think it's 11
slices.
slices.
It's 11, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can't be because they don't want it to be even
Right.
totally. So 11 slices. You flip them over. So here's your random pie with all these different types of slices. Each round, someone's a slicer, and what they're going to do is they're going to divide that pie up into equal parts for however many players there are. But you can't rearrange the slices at all. You're just separating them. The tricky part is, as the slicer, you're going to be the person who picks last. So it's this really meta thing about how do I want to split this up where I'm not going to get totally hosed by picking last. And I'm also not going to give my opponent exactly what they want. Because again, the pie is random. So there could be like, 3 slices that are adjacent to each other that are all the same. You don't want to keep those all together, especially for the person slicing it, right? When you then pick your section, you take all the pieces that you got and you either eat them, I think is what it's called, which is when you put them face down, or you keep them up to build a pie. If you put them face down and eat them immediately, you're getting points for the pepperoni pieces that are on them. If you decide to keep them face up, it basically becomes a set collection type of thing where you're trying to get the most of each value. Because at the end of the game, the way you're going to get points is whoever has the most of each type will get that many points. So whoever has the most 3s gets 3 points, etc., etc. So it's more lucrative, obviously, to try to get those 9s, 10s, and 11s. But again, they're going to be all over the place. You might not see any of them. There's also slices that are half and half. So they literally count as a half a slice, which is cool because when it gets to scoring, if you're tied with someone, that's the tiebreaker, right? I have 4.5 slices of Hawaiian pizza. You only have 4, so I'm going to get those points. That's pretty much the whole game. It's super fast. There's also daily specials that do let you break the rules of the game a little bit, and those are included in the cutting up of the pie. So when you make your sections, you can separate, say, 2 slices with the special thing.
Right.
Because maybe it doesn't help you at all, so you don't care that it's going to go to somebody else. So strategic in how you're splitting up and then what you're choosing. And again, just the graphic design, the marketing behind this production is just 100%.
And what I do like, I have this at my house. It hasn't been played very much, but it really truly does look like a pizza box. Just put it away though. You're just throwing all you're throwing all the pizza in the box.
Yeah, well, the storage sucks. That's the way it looks.
That's what the storage is. Is my biggest complaint about this game. I think it's a fun game to throw on the table for sure. But
Marcel, no. Hawaiian pizza is not negative points because it is in fact pizza and it's delicious.
It's number 6 over here, right? It's a 6 pizza.
It is. It is. So
And
it's
you
right in the
lose
middle.
points for anchovies.
You do.
That
you
I-
do.
That I do.
Anchovies are negative points.
Yeah, and Marcel's doesn't know how, but
And Rachel's
a teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version of this game.
Oh, that'd be cool. And the new implementation is just called Pizzeria.
Oh, that's boring.
Right?
Really?
That's
Oh, I'm
weird.
gonna just hold on to my copy for sure. Then
That's
Jeez,
weird.
That's awful. And
Oh, yeah, I remember that game. Pizza Party, remember that? You have to put like little toppings.
Oh, yeah.
on the
Yeah.
pizza.
Yeah.
to the point though that you said, it was when you said 2017, I was saying to myself, really, I feel like this game has been around longer,
Yeah.
and now I know why, because it's a re-implementation.
Yeah, but this version is still available. I just looked it up tonight.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe the other one was in a different language or something.
I don't know. That's New York Slice.
New York Slice,
So
yo.
all number ones have been revealed.
All
And we're-
number ones.
Of course, a friendly reminder, if anyone does want to call in, call-aboard.com. Otherwise, we're still going to find out what Anthony's number 4 is.
All right, I will tell you it has not been guessed. I don't think. We'll do a
Let's
quick
make sure
scan
we-
again.
Scan.
After, let's see, after New York Slice, we had Great Western Trail. Nope.
Let's throw it out to everybody. What do you think? What do you think is left between this number 3 and number 4?
So, I do know this. New York Slice I did play at PAX Unplugged. And I did enjoy it.
Okay.
It didn't stay in my collection, though. And I, for sure, theme-wise, like, I think this knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. You know. Century Spice Road, nope. Chai, no.
no, good luck. Good luck getting a copy of Chai if you don't already own it. Unfortunately.
Well, we talked. I'll just jump into my number 3.
Go for it.
Sounds good, because it ties in a little bit towards yours. And we've talked a lot about different foods. We haven't talked about magnets. Not a food, but when
Delivering?
combined with pizza,
Yeah.
Oh.
All
there
right.
it
So,
is.
so as many as some of you may know, I thoroughly enjoy the classic kids game Loopin' Louie. Right.
Yep.
This game I played last year at PAX Unplugged, and I feel like it's in that same wheelhouse as Loopin' Louie. In terms of toy factor, it's a kids game, involves pizza, the greatest of all foods. And this is a game called Piazza Rabazza. Okay.
There it
So I have a little animated little thing as to what this game looks like. So this is what the game looks like, okay? It's a real-time game where you are taking magnetic pizzas, putting them on top of this driver, and delivering it to different people in this town while while the dough maker is mixing dough and shaking the entire town.
That's
You're
insane.
trying to deliver different pizzas to different people that need them, using this like a little acrylic ruler kind of thing and dragging your pizza delivery driver all across the map. And what's really fun about this, other than how amazing this is, right? Because it does look amazing. Talk about table presence. It's a great kids game. You're going to have 4 different districts, right? The blue, the yellow, the red, and the green. All 4 different quadrants. You can sort of see, like, over here is red, yellow, blue. and
Yeah, on
green.
the walls.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, on your turn, you have a face-up delivery for each one. Like, this person wants pizza, this person in this quadrant wants pizza. And every player has their own face-up, too. So, when it's time to deliver the pizza, if you deliver the pizza to your person, when the time runs out, you're going to score the point. But if you don't deliver to your person, you check if any other player has that person face up, and they steal the point, and they say grazie. Right?
Naturally.
It's in the rules.
Oh man.
I love this one. Like, talk about like
Wait, is everyone doing that at the same time?
no. So every player has their own turn to do this.
Okay,
It's like about like 30 seconds
Okay.
of doing it. And yeah, it's
It's like Operation. is
yeah,
happening.
but this is like I love heavy like food chain magnate, but I also love this.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like this does exactly what I want it to do. It is a clever toy for something I haven't seen before that isn't that same kind of wheelhouse. Ties the best food of all time. It's got magnets. Like, what more do I need?
3D board.
I'm pretty sure
3D
this,
shaking
and I
board.
believe if you were to go back to our PAX Unplugged video
Oh, yeah.
Post PAX Unplugged from this last one, this was the one you were raving about.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I remember your excitement about this one.
Yeah. I got it right over there.
Yeah.
So good. But yeah, Piazza Ravazza. If you're a fan of these kinds of games, definitely try out this game.
Do 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 do.
That dude does not get the pizza there. He does. Look, watch. He's gonna get it. This guy right here will get it. Look, it's on his face. You see that? It's on his face, and then it disappears. It's momentarily. And that's what's great too. When you deliver the pizza, you like deliver it like right to their face.
That's awesome.
It's great. Yeah.
Here's your pizza.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that's hilarious.
that's
That's
Piazza
cool.
Ravazza.
Definitely
That's-
want to try it.
Well,
You can borrow it.
I will.
well, Anthony, there's one slot left. Has anyone guessed it? Let's see. We've
No.
had some So I think
I
get
think
some
this
hints?
game is under the radar too.
Well-
It is involving. It is a drink game and not a food game. I'll say that.
okay.
Like alcohol?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any guesses?
I mean, I know what it is because
that's right.
I put
Yeah.
together
I don't know.
a list.
This is On the Rocks.
Oh,
Came out in 2021. A husband and wife design team. I think I was talking to them at PAX too. I thought maybe you were there.
I might have.
Michael and Christina Petre, I believe is how you say it, from 25th Century Games.
And art by Christina Petre too.
There you go. Yeah,
yeah,
so they
nice.
did the whole thing themselves, and speaking to them, like you said earlier about some other mentions too, you could feel the passion, right?
Yeah.
And again, like New York Slice, this one made my list because of the way that, largely the way that it looks. Okay, it's a great table presence. It comes with those little blue bowl things that are like kind of like
Marble holders.
marble
or-
bowls,
Oh, like
right?
these little
Yeah,
cups.
but they're like
yeah.
silicone, like they're flexible.
Cool.
And then your player board is this, menu. I mean, it unfolds like a menu, and it's thick like a drink menu at a restaurant, and it's really, really cool. So you have these 4 types of drinks that you're going to be constructing. You'll draw cards. You can choose to try to make 3 or 4 drinks in your first round, or in all the rounds, really, as long as there's one of each kind. And then, essentially, you're going to be pulling these marbles from a bag, distributing them around the bowls randomly. And then when it's your turn, you're going to pick which bowl you want to take. And you're going to put those ingredients onto your board into the spot. So the card tells you how you're trying to construct that cocktail, what colors it needs. And then you'll get those points if you construct it. But there's a couple of marbles that do some other stuff. There's some wild ones. There's also some spills that are going to make you draw a card and something bad's going to happen. So that's a way that there's definitely some player interaction in this, because you can kind of like cause someone to not get what they want or sort of take something away from them. They might have to remove marbles that they've already placed on their board, so they were working towards their drink and now they have to take a step back. You also get tips when you can complete something, which can benefit you in different ways as well. You play for 3 rounds, and then you just add up all your money basically from making all the drinks. There was a good amount of promo cards in my copy too.
Cool.
That I think were like fan submitted cocktails, which is cool because there's a lot of like, local stuff to them. We call it this kind of thing. Artwork is really cool, and it's a great one to again have a drink while you're playing the game. The components are really cool. That's On the Rocks. You don't hear too much about it, but it looks awesome. I'm a big
No,
fan.
you've thrown some good hidden gems out there tonight, I think,
Yeah.
and this one looks cool to try. And Mitchell, remember saying it looks like Potion Explosion with marbles. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
That is similar.
and you're impacting Marcel's wallet tonight. So.
Aw, that's good.
That is good.
But that is
I'll
our
zoom out so you see all the whole 5.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, for me, Beer and Bread is definitely my number one. Anyone ever wants to play a good 2-player game, I will bring more than a few of those to PAX Unplugged. So if you're gonna go into PAX Unplugged, we will all be there.
Yep. I will bring Food Chain if someone wants to play
Yeah.
Food Chain.
I'm happy. I'm really happy to bring any games that people want to play. But
I don't think I'm going to play Food Chain Magnet.
You could try it.
I don't know.
Don't
Brian
worry.
had a comment earlier that I totally agree with. He said, I want to want to play this game.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
And that's where
That's
where
fair.
I'm at.
That's
It's like I appreciate that it exists, and I know, and obviously you love it, and
Yes.
I appreciate that you love it so
No,
much.
I know.
But man, if I'm gonna be out like the first third, I'm gonna be so salty for the
I'm
entire
pretty
game.
sure
I'm not
we
gonna
had
enjoy
one
it.
player who was.
That's true.
I've never rage quit a game, but I may do that if that's
Yeah.
the case.
Well, we hope you all will stick around. We do have
Two
yeah,
reviews.
2 reviews tonight that we want to do. So what we will do is we'll get you an overview of the game, some of our thoughts around the theme. We'll talk a little about the components, but components themselves, and then of course the mechanics of the game, and then our overall thoughts. So we've got 2 games to review tonight. We have had an opportunity to play some good ones lately. You saw us
Some new
play
ones.
Wild Tiled West recently on the channel, as well as Barcelona. We're going to talk about both of those tonight. I don't know which one you want to go to first, Ryan, but
The Wild Tile West.
See, I didn't do it.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't do it.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
I was doing my best to not do it.
I didn't do it when we played.
I know.
Shockingly.
Yeah.
Wild Child West came out 2023, designed by Paul Denon, art Clay Brooks, Anika Burrell, Raul Ramos, Nate Storm, publisher Dire Wolf.
Nate Storm is a
Games.
great name.
Yeah.
That is a great name. Yeah, so Wild Tiled West, we had an opportunity to play a copy of this game on the channel. If you'd like to go check out that video. That was all of our first opportunities to play the game. It is a game, and if you want to bring up the board actually for this one, it's a really interesting board where you're actually going to be rolling dice and placing them along the board to determine what polyominoes you're going to be able to get to place on your own individual board. So you can kind of get the sense that, and what's really neat, I will just notice the storage on this, which is exactly how those goes back in the box.
Yeah.
But we're going to have our own board in this game that we are trying to fill to make, to complete with our polyomino tiles, and a few things are going to be happening on our board. We've got some bandits we've got to take care of. We've got some goals because of some goals that we need to accomplish. And we're going to try and complete our towns to get points for completing the full towns. I mean, there's really a lot going on. And you can flip over those boards for more advanced style boards.
Which we did.
Which we did.
So it's like asymmetric powers kind of deal.
Yeah. And so there's a lot going on in this game that I think, brings a very nice visual to the table that we'll get into. But the biggest thing is from the perspective of the gameplay. So you all know, really, we're going to be rolling these dice at the start, and one critical thing is 2 die are going to go along the river. Along the river, you are able to skip over things by paying a price.
Yeah.
But only on the river. So that is the important part of a rule there, because you cannot do that on the outside spots. I mean, that's the way the board ultimately gets set up. You ultimately are going to try and earn the most victory points at the end of the game. And then ultimately
What do you think of the
victory.
components?
Components are great. I love polyomino games, and the way that these are stored is pretty phenomenal. Because you don't really have to do much for setting up the game. You kind of just take it out. Although if you're playing with a lower player count, you probably have to take some of those tiles out, which is, I guess, a little tedious. But I really enjoyed this. The components are really nice, and I'm really glad that we went with the asymmetrical boards for our first play. I know they probably don't recommend it, but whatever. We're all seasoned gamers. We can figure that out. But they are really different.
Yeah.
Like, totally. Not just, like, arranged differently. Like, some of them have completely different icons on them that no one else has. Or different abilities. And so that there was a lot to consider when you were planning on where you were going to place your pieces and which ones you were going to buy.
Yeah, and
Because you also have a private goal, right? That's secret, depending on which, what were they called? Were they citizens or something? Or
Character cards?
characters, and you can get more than one of those, I think, later on.
yeah, you can get up to 2 of those.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's true. I mean, and the card stock on the stuff is fine. I don't get too much into that because it's standard stuff. But I will say, yeah, the tile quality was great. The board quality was
Partner
are good.
cards.
Partners.
Partner, that's what it is. But those partner cards play a big part of it. But yeah, to your point, I do recommend when you do play this game take the boards, and if you're a fairly seasoned gamer, you can jump right into that, and you're gonna it's worth it. It's gonna give you the full experience.
Yeah. So it plays about, how long was our play? Like 90 minutes?
Yeah.
Right? 90 minutes?
It was pretty much on the spot about an hour and a half because we had a little teach in the beginning too.
Yeah. Oh, here's a better picture of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
actual
yeah.
board, too. So, right.
There it is.
You also are gonna, as you're placing down your tiles, you do cover things for different benefits. You're also taking into consideration when drafting tiles what tile is best suited for you and potentially is going to harm your other opponent, but you're not doing that a lot in this game. I feel like there's not a lot of hate drafting in this game. It's more so you kind of focus on your own thing.
It is engaging because it's more of a moment of, you went to my spot.
I mean, and so how this gets determined is you roll what, 4 d20 number player d20s,
right? So the green of the d20s, and then you're probably always rolling the same amount of the d8s, no matter what.
D8s
for the river.
Right?
Yeah. And then you get to take the die and you take whatever tile that's associated with it. And as the tiles get depleted, more neighboring tiles will now become available.
Yeah, I really like that. Because at first, this is the way the tiles are set up and stored. And that doesn't change, right? They're always in this position, in this order. But the way that they become available is going to be different, over the course of different plays.
And you're going to want to get access to those bullets because you're going to be able to shoot bandits, and you're going to have sheriffs in range of it. So, but at the same time, you've got really good tiles with bandits. So you're going to be really thinking about what tile you want. So I do agree. The focus is more about you. I don't think there's really, to your point, not a ton of hate drafting.
No, I don't think so. It has a very strong Isle of Cats vibe for me.
I can see that.
In that you're, obviously polyomino pieces that are going onto your personal player board and covering different symbols and trying to fill up different sections. Although it's a lot easier to fill up towns on this board than it is to fill up compartments on Isle of Cats ships.
I also don't think you'll finish the full board on all your towns.
That isn't possible.
I don't believe it's possible, so you have to be very strategic.
Yeah, and you kind of do have to play to the cards that you get dealt, and you end up drafting like those partner cards.
Which really I like because it gives you a focus.
Yeah.
But there's bullets to gather to shoot the bandits. There's sheriffs you have to get to actually use the bullets in your town. And they have
critically
to be in
important
line of sight with the bandit.
Yeah, and critically important is there is as you go around that track, which is showing on the left hand side, there are spots where if you have the most bandits, you are getting negative points. So you are being mindful because when we played, as an example, first 2 rounds, I had the most bandits. By the end, I had almost none.
Yeah.
But I took less penalty in the beginning. At the end, I wasn't taking any penalty.
So we played at the 4-player higher count, and I feel like maybe that is the best way to play.
It was 5, wasn't it?
Oh, it was 5,
It was
right?
5.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, you're right. It was 5.
It was 5.
Maybe that is the way to play because there were less decisions, and you kind of always have to be ready to change.
Yeah.
I feel like with lower player counts, you could focus more so on your own thing. So if you do like more of a solitaire thing,
But they do limit the
lower
tiles. As you play with less, there are going to be less tiles.
So going back to it though, right? Polyomino, there's so many out there. There's a lot out there, okay? And I did enjoy my play of this one, but I'm not gonna run out and get this one over any other polyomino game I would get. If I'm gonna recommend a polyomino for a high player count, it's gonna be Barren Park. Small player count, it's gonna be Patchwork. A lot of these like tile layers that you're using, those are the kinds of ones that I tend to gravitate towards, where there is some player interaction in terms of trying to rush and get something before other players do. In Barren Park, the achievements, and in Patchwork, like the 7x7 and filling out the stuff. So with the dice in there too, there's 20 different spots. So it really, you just could just get crap because of how bad the dice roll. It's not so much like a deterministic thing where, okay, this one came out, so now these are going to be probably coming out next time. You can't really plan ahead for that.
Yeah.
Because it's a D20, so it's any one of 20 can happen. So those are some things. And the other thing I didn't like about this game, I believe the game retailed for $65.
Yeah.
That's what Michael said.
Yeah, and I think that's too much for what you're getting.
I think so too.
I think you're paying a lot for how nice the inset boards are and
Right.
things like
I feel
that.
like there's a little bit too much premium that could have been cut down for this this kind of weight game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To your point, I think it is. I thought it was a delightful game. I thought thematically it played great. I enjoyed the polyomino effort, and I did think the boards were fantastic. The price from the price point perspective, yeah, I wouldn't pay the MSRP on this one personally for what gameplay it offered. At the same time, I very much enjoyed it. If someone asked me, "Do you want to play this game?" Yeah, sure, I'd love to. I'm in the same boat. I'm not rushing out to purchase this for myself. At the same time, if I saw a nice sale on it,
Sure.
I might consider it. But I'm not rushing out to get this just because I do feel there's other games that can do it, and I have been playing some Barren Park with you and some other things, and ultimately I think it's a crowded space, and to stand out, the thing that stands out for me in this one, and if they came out with more of the maps, is the variety in the maps, and that's where I give this game the most kudos.
Yeah.
The variety of the maps is better than the variety of maps I've seen in a lot of other games.
Agreed.
And that is the reason to me why if I saw it for a price that was more in what I was looking for, I might pick it up, just because I did think there was a ton of that, but I also think there's room for growth, and I won't be surprised if more maps come out for them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we were talking about how it would be easy to just have another sideboard, even of other tiles for like a D6 or a D12 or whatever,
Yeah.
and just call it whatever.
So
All right, so what's your rank then?
yeah.
So,
I'll start.
go ahead.
I'll
What's
start.
your rank
'cause,
then?
well, I like Paul Denon designs, but I'm gonna give it a 7.5, which
Okay.
is still pretty good. Like, I did enjoy my play of it, and I am in the same boat where I would play it again had it been brought to me. But 7.5, I think, is low for polyomino games, because there's so many polyomino games out there. Like, I gravitate towards so many more for price point, for versatility. Granted, this has a lot of premium in there with like the nice components and how they inlay with each other, which Barren Park doesn't have that at all. The insert in there is garbage. But Wild Tiled West, it was a nice play, but I'm not going to rush out and get it. And I would play it.
Yeah. What about you, Anthony?
I'm in the same boat, really. Definitely would not. Look, I don't really pay $65 for games if I can help it. That's just me. Like, I'm just more frugal like that. But I really did enjoy this game, and I left wanting to play it again because I wanted to, do better.
Yeah.
But I also want to try other boards.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had aliens on their board.
Someone had aliens that were trying
It's
to
just
knock
like
it. Oh, yeah,
crazy.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was trying to connect a stagecoach route from left to right
Yeah.
on my board. What were you? You had special towns or something?
I had special towns. If I completed them, I got an extra special
Yeah,
ability
yeah,
that
yeah.
made everything wild. But I had to
Yeah.
complete.
Right.
I had to complete a certain town first.
I like it. I gave it a 7.8.
Nice.
Yeah, I tend to. I'm falling in the same range as you, Anthony. For me, it's just a touch below 8. For me, it's a 7.9.
Okay.
Because I want, and I think it could elude that, but I think it could move up. It was the maps that did it for me. That's why the rank is as high as it is for me in terms of number. I think it's solid, and I want to stress, I do think if you get a chance to play this, it's great. It oozes a really fun, it has this fun thematic with the maps. I love the idea of shooting the bandits. And we'll play this if everyone is ever interested and you want to bring it to the table. Yeah, I'll get it. I'm not rushing out to buy it for myself, but I think it's a solid game.
And anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. The artwork is cool.
Yeah.
The artwork is
But yeah, that is Wild Tiled West.
cool. Dun-dun-dun.
And we've got one.
And now we're going to
Barcelona.
On to Barcelona.
Barcelona.
beautiful.
Beautiful. So Barcelona came out this year, designed by Danny Garcia, art by Alexander Zawada, publisher Board and Dice. I didn't mention, by the way, Wild Tiled West belonged to someone else. They brought their copy.
Correct.
Barcelona, I ended up buying my own copy after playing someone else's.
Right.
So, anyways, Barcelona is a 1 to 4 player game where you are going out and constructing the city of Barcelona, which it's very much in a mechanical Euro kind of way.
Sure.
On your turn, you're going to be taking different citizen tiles, which are these little octagons in this tiny little bag. You take 2 of them, and you're going to be placing them like worker placement kind of style, where you pick an intersection on that board, that grid board, and whatever intersection you're on, you're going to carry out the 2 to 3 actions that are in that intersection based on where you place.
Right. So very much like Targi,
Yep.
except it has like a diagonal option too.
But it has a diagonal, so you can do up to 3. And then after you're done doing that, you're going to check if you can construct part of the city, which means there are multiple workers that are flanking different sides of city blocks. If so, you can build buildings on there, which will just score points. But not only that, the citizens go back onto the citizen track, which kind of acts as the game's timer, because when a citizen fully fills up one of their tracks, you'll see like right here, this has 6 spots, right? As soon as you fill up the 6th spot, you're going to do some mid-game scoring, and then you do it again, mid-game scoring, you do it again, final scoring. Yeah. And there's a lot of points going on. There's all different tracks you can go on. You have your own player boards that you can take things off of and then unlock different benefits. There's a lot going on. There's a whole separate board over here. There's a lot going on, yet it still feels pretty smooth. But go on and talk about some of the stuff.
I was going to say it looks scarier than it is.
Yes.
Is the first thing that I would say. You do have a sideboard that you're going to be able to, if you take certain actions, go place a piece on and then get an immediate bonus, which is a really nice thing. You've got things to add to the top of your board that add you these additional bonuses. As you're revealing things, or I should say taking things off your board, you're getting additional. So yes, there's a lot of things you can do, but the actions you're taking are all very simple.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is when action selection is simple, the complicated parts of the game tend to flow. And in the good design, that's what I see happen. I think this game has that good design, where the actions are simple enough that even though there's all the other stuff you can do as the byproduct of your action, it all works, and it's a smooth process. And smooth is the way I describe this game.
Yeah.
It's extremely smooth.
Yeah, it took me a little while to get to the smooth part, but yes, definitely. And worth pointing out, this is this person's first design, you said, right?
It's
That's
Garcia's first design.
for this out of the gate at this level with this much going on. I mean, this could be a Stefan Feld game easily, right? And this is just so well done. I enjoyed it. It's definitely crunchy, punchy, as you described it when we were playing.
Punchy's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, because the turns can go really quick.
Yeah, for sure, because you're obviously thinking about where to place your citizens, right? But you're not thinking about if I want to build or not, because if you can build, you have to build,
Right.
Yeah.
right? You're thinking of which track do I want to try to score points on the most. You're keeping track of your passengers on your tram that can get dropped off and do different things. You're also placing your color things on the intersections of the streets as well. You're building the roads in your color to hopefully get more points, but other people can get points for using stuff too. It's nuts. There's all kinds of stuff going on, but as you can see, I mean, it's just a work of art on the table.
And it's gorgeous when it gets built.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
And the retail version, and let's just point that out. We played the one of the versions that we did play was the retail version.
No, it was the prototype.
We put the prototype, but then we played the retail.
Then we played the retail right after.
But my point is, we're not playing some deluxe version. We weren't playing some deluxe version.
Yeah.
And to me, there was a value in this box.
Yeah.
To me, comparative to what we're just talking about, I felt like there was bang for your buck in this box. There was a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was like $60.
Was it
Yeah,
$60?
yeah. But
how
this-
much different? Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
how much different did the prototype look from this? Do you remember?
I mean, not
much.
the art was finalized.
Okay.
It was just really like cut corners kind of deal.
Okay,
Yeah,
you
gotcha.
know.
But my point here is, per that, when I'm comparing, and I don't want to compare because they're very different games, but from the price point, when I think about what I get in the box, this game in particular, the bang for the buck is there. It's worth it's worth the price of admission, and I just really enjoyed kind of the interactions of this game, just in the fact that I might lay a road down and you decide to go there, and now there's 4 connecting, so that spot's worth more. And you're placing more people down here, and you're trying to speed up the game maybe, or maybe you don't want to do it, so you're trying to play the pieces to slow down the game because I want to end the game, and scores flew.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can tell people. Scores flew.
Yeah.
Because my score skyrocketed at the end of the first game we played.
Right.
I was behind the entire time, but I was hyper focused on a few goals.
Yeah.
And at the end, I was just watching my score go up, 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 up.
Yeah.
And it was so you watch that kind of score jump around. There's a point salad of sorts
Oh yeah.
happening here, but it's delightful.
Yeah, and going back to the interaction, I tend to prefer more in-your-face interactions for Euro games. This has interaction, not crazy amount. Like you're still doing your own thing for sure. But what I found interesting about this game, every time I played it, the beginning actions. I'm very quick to just make my beginning action. As the game goes on, though, it makes you start to slow down with your actions and just really try to think, if I place this here, it's going to trigger the end game sooner. Because it's player controlled tempo. Because you have all these different spots you can place down in, but if you place closer to other people's workers or give them the opportunity to build a building based on where you place, you could cause the end of the game.
Right.
And you're always kind of balancing that. And I like that part of the game a lot.
So what I'll add to that, because a big reason why that happens is when you put these citizens down, you're always putting down 2 of them on top of each other.
Right.
Okay. And there's 3 different colors. And if on your turn you are able to build, like I said, you must build. When you do, you basically pay for the building with the citizens. So when you put a stack of 2 down, and if you build on that turn, only that top one is coming off.
Right.
So that situation is going to look different for the next person. It might be the same color, but it might not.
You don't know.
You just don't
That's
know.
that's the beauty, is you could play those pieces down in whatever.
Yeah. So I definitely liked this. I felt like I was kind of flying blind for a good part of it. Like that scene in Groundhog Day where the groundhog is actually driving
Oh,
the
yeah.
car. That's kind of how I felt.
Don't drive angry.
But thank you for pointing out some obvious missteps that I may have made.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, this was enjoyable and hefty.
And what I also like too, and I thought I wouldn't like this, but there's 11 different actions on the board, right? So you'll see them like outlined, like this is an action, this is an action, this is an action, this is an action, right? All these different actions. And when you place your worker down, you're going to do the intersection of the action. You're going to do this and this. Obviously, I like that part. But the part I wasn't sure I was going to like is that at the beginning of the game, you take all 11 actions, you shuffle them, and then you put them in the different spots. So these are like the starting ones, but you can actually take tiles and cover them up. So you'll have a different duo or trio of different actions. And depending on that, combined with, depending on what your end game scorings are on your own personal board, right? Combine that with what is on the citizen track for scoring.
Yep.
You have a lot going on.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't feel too overwhelming. And I was worried, and I was concerned it could have been, but it didn't feel that overwhelming, to be perfectly honest.
No.
Like, it was still pretty smooth.
No. I think, this isn't the first game you're going to teach someone, so certainly, but if you're someone who plays games, or you've played Euros, you've done,
I would call this a medium weight Euro.
I think it's
right?
fair. Yeah.
Medium weight.
I think BGG has as a 3-point something.
Yeah.
So I think that's accurate in terms of weight. I just think, again, the action selection is very clear. Yes, you got to learn some symbols, but once you're a round or a round and a half in, it is a game that your second play is going to be better.
Yeah.
But you will enjoy your first play.
Mm-hmm.
That was my experience with it.
Now, setup is a chore.
Setup is a
Setup
chore.
is a chore for sure. And an insert would be nice for this one. So
I
I
think
think
that's
talk
your
to the
next
Wild Child
purchase.
West
Yeah.
people, right?
Yeah.
So for sure an insert. would have been nice. Now, I liked a lot of this game. The only part that did stick out to me that I felt was a little underbaked and kind of just thrown in there. So, as this game goes on, you're going to collect different resources, right? Different coins and different cloth. And you can only fit them in your depot if you have space. And this spot right here, these stone tiles can come off and get placed on this board. But you can only place resources if you have the space. In order to do that is to get rid of these stone tiles. And I felt like that part just felt underbaked. Like, it was like, I guess it's there to limit the resources, but it didn't feel satisfying. Like, it wasn't clean as the rest of the design was. It felt like, oh, yeah, I guess I don't have room. You know?
I wish there was another way to get those cobblestone
Yeah.
tiles besides that one action.
I will, or if there was, or like, it just felt like it, as smooth as the game was going. That was the hiccup that I ran into. It just felt like it's there to block, just to block. It's not like they're thematically,
Sure.
like for a reason other than it's there to block because it's going to block. And I feel like that could have been better. I don't know how, but I feel like it could have
I
been
did
better.
actually like getting those instant actions on that board, however. Like, I did enjoy the board. So
Yeah, it was nice to uncover stuff.
Yeah.
And I really like the scoring up here for your personal private board. So let me see if I can find a better picture of that. Where was it? Here we go. So on this board right here, you're going to get different scoring tiles and place them onto the board. And you'll score like, one of them is like, for every small road you have, you get 2 points. Now, if you put it on here, right, it's going to be worth 2 times whatever this value is. They always start on the bottom row, but as the game goes on, you can choose to upgrade them. So instead of it being 2 points, it's now worth 2 times 2, which is right 4 points. Or if it's over here, it's 2 times 3, so it's 6 points.
Yeah.
You know, that's math. So, so I like that part a lot.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything else I enjoyed.
You love it.
I love it.
Well, I'm happy to say, yeah, I really love this one. Like,
Art's gorgeous.
The art's great. Yeah, the beautiful art. It can look overwhelming, but I really don't think it is.
And it does look like Barcelona at the end.
Yeah,
Right?
I-
Sort of. I've seen pictures of Barcelona. I've never been there.
All I can do is I can tell you that I liked it enough to give this one a 9.0.
Whoa!
Like, I really, I don't know if this is surprising to anyone though, because the cross section action is one of my favorite actions from Targi.
Right.
Yeah.
The fact that you kind of have the flexibility on the go to change your plan a little bit, but you kind of have to lock in to some extent, but you've got those other tiles to give yourself other ways to score. So there's a flexibility in the game. I don't know. For me, this one is it's a 9.0. I really, really, this one delivered for me.
What count would you like better, 2 or 3?
I liked it. I think I liked it with the 3.
Yeah.
It is a little more of a challenge.
Yes.
But I liked it better at the 3.
Yeah.
I do think it scaled well.
Yeah.
I'll just say I do think the game scales well. But yeah, 9.0 for me. Easy choice.
It's slightly too complicated for me.
Okay.
I would definitely play it again, but I'm not going to run out and get it.
Yeah.
Nor do I feel it didn't leave me feeling like I should tell other people about it, scream about it the way
Right.
you do, which
Yeah.
is fine. So for me, 7.2.
Fair. So not as high as you.
Yeah.
I'm actually 8.9.
Oh, well.
0.9 though. So I really like a lot about Barcelona for sure. I do wish there. I mean, for a game with not a crazy amount of player interaction, there's a good amount, but not like crazy amount. Like in terms of Euros, like I like stuff that have like a lot of player interaction.
Yeah.
So for this, I would give it an 8.9 because I did like some interactions that were in there, pulling off combos, trying to figure out what's the optimal route.
Yep.
I do like that portion of the game and kind of like figuring out what I should go for. There were there wasn't a lot of time though where I felt like I was blocked. There was always something to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I do give it an 8.9. And it's just personal preference.
And I think that's the difference between my 9 and my 8.9. I didn't mind that one bit.
Yeah.
So that's literally where the difference is. By the way, to Squirrel's comment, I wonder how I would like Merv. Well, I'm going to find out. I own Merv now. So
And 5 Tribes I thought was awful. But
I used to own 5 Tribes, and it didn't stay in my collection. I appreciate design of 5 Tribes.
5 Tribes like,
With the kind of Mancala moving around.
yeah, I didn't like that.
I don't know, but Merv, Merv I have good feelings about. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
I haven't played Nippon, but the multiplier of the points is something that if you do like that aspect, this has it. This has it for sure. And then Arborea is the next design out by Danny Garcia, so which looks gorgeous. Yeah.
Whoa.
Right?
Oh, that's cool.
Did
That's
you
a
back
neat
this?
looking.
No, I did not back this, but I'll play it. And that was, wait for it, Barcelona. Cool.
Yeah, and I know not everyone would be left now, but I want to thank everybody who did join us tonight. Love to see all that engagement.
Yeah.
We had a ton of fun tonight. Want to thank you for that.
Thank you, patrons, for picking that one too.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
Patreon.
How close was that, by the way?
So the second option that would have won.
Like, how far away was it? Do you know?
It was 60-40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what ended up coming in second place was favorite games to play around Halloween that you can purchase in time for Halloween 2023.
Yeah.
Or something more brief.
Won't be shocked if we bring some form of that back.
Oh, yeah, we could do that next
It's possible.
other
Yes,
one.
we will have it.
Got some.
But until next time.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.